what do you do to prepare for a concert before?
Oh, a lot of vocalizing, a lot of exercising, running up and down steps and breathing and
Really?
inhaling. You sure?
Wow.
I mean, a concert is 2 hours
Is
of I would say
aerobics.
aerobics,
Yeah.
vocal aerobics and body aerobics. You
Right.
gotta deliver. You gotta give people all you got. So you can't just walk out there, cold and deliver.
Sure.
Doesn't work. So you
Sure.
have to prepare. So
Right.
it's walking, it's vocal exercising. Especially as you get older, it's more important to vocal exercise.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of people. I get paid for the work before the concert.
Right.
The concert itself is
Right.
fun,
Hmm.
but the
Wh
getting
what
ready takes time.
do you did you ever find yourself, like, hoarse and not able to go to a concert,
Of
not able to
course,
deliver?
of
So what do you
course,
do?
of course. You apologize. What you do?
Wow.
My famous story was some years ago. I landed in Melbourne, Australia, after flying across the world, and I
Like,
c-
that's a long flight.
and I come out.
Af
I knew I was in trouble on the plane because something was not feeling well
Oh
inside,
gosh.
and I spent that day. The person who booked me took me to 5 different doctors who might find some kind of a miracle to get my voice back, but I was like this.
Ay, ay, ay.
Nothing could be done. Nothing. So I came out on stage. The place was packed with about 2,000 people in Melbourne. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, as you can hear, I have no
Ah,
voice. They didn't, they thought it was a joke in the beginning.
right.
But so I apologized and I sat down in the front row and I stayed for the rest of the show. The other acts filled in, they did their act. I came back 6 months later to Melbourne. I came out on stage and I said, hello, ladies and gentlemen. And they freaked out. They freaked out. I said, no, 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 that's just a joke, just a joke,
Right.
just a joke. Maybe a bad joke, but it was a joke. And
Wow.
I made up for it. Thank God.
Wow.
That
Wow.
was my big losing my voice story. But I
Right.
knew on the plane I was in trouble because something just didn't feel right. But that was laryngitis. That usually doesn't happen.
Right.
Other times where I come to a show and a little cold, a little congestion, but thank God you can get around it. If your voice box is not totally congested, with some
Right.
tricks you can get around it.
Mm.
So I've had a couple of those, but thank
Mm.
God over
Mm.
40 plus years, I
That's
don't,
all you can remember.
I don't think I've ever I don't think maybe once one or two cancellations. That's it. Thank God.
Wow. Wow.
Pretty
Eh,
amazing.
That's very amazing. Wow. And what about, like, coming down from the high? I mean, you must be on a real high after a concert. How do you settle from that?
That's a good question. It takes about 4 or 5 hours. I don't sleep the night after a concert. It's just
I'm sure.
the winding down, and there's just something good to read,
Right.
a good read.
Wow.
But it's
Wow.
a lot of energy. It's a lot of your body's going through a lot of stuff, and
Now, what
it's
happens
beautiful.
if you're going through stuff, you're going through a situation or a challenge or a struggle, and you're just not in the mood of the being uplifted? What do you do then? I mean, you said how you physically prepare. How do you emotionally or spiritually prepare?
That's happened. That's happened. You go on stage, just not in the mood.
Mhm.
Humans have their ups and downs, their feelings, their highs and lows. And I gotta go out here now and sing for 2 hours. I'm not in the mood.
Right.
Not in the mood. But then you slap yourself across the face and you say, "Hey, people are paying to come hear you.
Right.
So
It's not about you.
put all your stick aside, go out there and do the show. Give them the best that you can offer. Give them their money's worth. And the lights are coming on, the curtains are opening,
Mm,
and you got to step out there
right.
and deliver the goods."
I
And
guess that gets back to, it being a calling as well, not just a livelihood, but it's actually a calling.
right,
And you once said a story that the Rebbe gave you a bottle of mashka, a bottle
I
of
see.
vodka.
I see.
Can you tell us?
I see you did your homework, Hannah.
I sure did. It took a while.
Yeah, it was after a particular Farbrengen, where after Rebbe spoke for many hours with the Hasidim, he would give out a little bit of his wine that he drank from, the cup that he drank from, to thousands of Hasidim who would pass by. And it took a second. He would pour a little wine into your cup, and you continued.
Mm,
He said l'chaim to you, and you moved on. L'chaim v'livrocha, to life and for blessing. And he moved on. It took a second. but it was very precious to get a little bit of the Rebbe's wine from his own cup. To the Rebbe's shluchim, to the Rebbe's messengers who lived, most of them would live out of town and be his emissaries, or those who lived in town and was also the Rebbe's emissaries, he would give a bottle of vodka, a little bottle. The idea being that after Yom Tov, they would go back to their places, make a farbrengen there with their constituents, and say something that they heard from the farbrengen and share some words of inspiration. So one particular koshel bracha, as it was called, the cup of blessing, I went by as usual, and had my little cup ready to get my wine from the Rebbe, and he poured me a cup, a little bit of wine. I was ready to move on. But then through the corner of my eye, I see the Rebbe's moving his hand. Something's going on. I turned around, and I see the Rebbe is holding a bottle of vodka for me.
Wow.
And for a moment, I had never looked into the Rebbe's eyes. At that moment, I looked into the Rebbe's eyes, questioning. I didn't say a word, but I was asking Rebbe, "Are you sure this is for me? You sure there's no mistake here?" And he gave me the bottle. And to this day, when I'm talking about feeling, I'm not in the mood or something, I say,
Right.
hey, you idiot, the Rebbe gave you a bottle of vodka. Whatever you need, whatever inspiration, whatever kick you needed down the line, it was all in that bottle. So just get out there and get past your wall and just remember that bottle. That gives me inspiration till this day. Actually, recently someone sent me a clip of that moment, which I
Oh,
treasure.
wow.
Which I treasure. Have it on my phone. I look at it from time to time. Say, look, the Rebbe gave you a bottle. So that was my moment where the Rebbe told me clearly that I'm his messenger. So